Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now I don't know what it's like where you are, but it has been super cold, freezing and stormy in London, and the kids and I have been doing whatever we can to stay warm and cozy, and I've been making one of our favorite dinners for them, which is not Indian actually. It is a poached chicken noodle soup. Now the chicken here is poached with some incredibly warming cozy spices that are also really good for you, like turmeric, ginger, and also fragrant like star anise. Now, if this sounds good to you, then please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Tell all your friends about me so you can help my channel grow, and then let's get cooking. I like using fresh turmeric for this because it has a really vibrant, earthy and fresh way about it that works better when it's cooked for ages. So it doesn't just disappear. Also a big lump of ginger. You'll see that's a solid kind of 2.5 inches worth of each of those. Smash them up in a pestle and mortar that extracts all the juices. I've then got 1 star anise and about a teaspoon of black peppercorns going into a pot with the turmeric and the ginger, and we're going to add spring onions. Lob off the top of the spring onions, but keep them because we can absolutely use them for the broth as well as the ends. Not very nice to eat, but we can extract whatever flavors they've got in the broth with the chicken. And then slice the white ends of the spring onions like this, just long and slim. I've then got a really good quality medium chicken, about 1.2 kilograms. You'll see I've slashed the thighs, the skin between the thighs and the breasts, and you want to pop that on top of the herbs, so the spring onions and the turmeric and the ginger. That hasn't been done particularly well, but I hope you'll forgive me. When all the spring onion whites have gone in, you're reserving the green bit. Top that with some cold water. Now, do this slowly because otherwise that water will splash everywhere, and you want to make sure that the chicken is almost very nearly submerged like that. I didn't film it, but I flipped it over so it's actually lying on its front, so on its breasts. The rest is really quite simple. It bubbles away for an hour. You want to move the chicken over, flip it over halfway through, skim off any foam that arises to the top slowly so you're not removing any of those wonderful aromatics that are cooking with the chicken. And in an hour, you'll have this gorgeous yellow, bright yellow broth. No need to cover this. You just need to make sure that it is submerged so all the different bits of the chicken get beautifully cooked. This would be lovely in a slow cooker if you have one. You can also pressure cook it if you have a pressure cooker that's large enough. You'll see how badly I flip it over from time to time. And, no specialist skill needed here whatsoever. The chicken's done when it literally starts falling apart, and this takes about an hour, as I said earlier. So now we just remove it onto a plate. It should be so soft and lovely that you can just take 2 forks to it and you'll see the chicken will just shred really very, very easily from the bone. And I'm going to show you what I do in a minute to get the rest of it off. While that's sitting and cooling off, we're going to deal with the broth, which is still in that giant cauldron of a pan that I have. So all we're going to do is strain that into another pan. Look, I've got a sieve sitting on it, and that just goes in. So we're removing the bits of herbs and spices that have now done their job. I like making lots of this in one go, and it also makes a really soothing soup to have on its own without the chicken. Into that broth, I've just dipped in about 200 grams of cavallo nero or black kale. And that's the lovely winter green we need. And here is what I'm going to do with the chicken. You can see it's still steaming hot. I have asbestos fingers and it was still quite hot for me, to be honest. I was going to stop and put some ugly gloves on, but I thought, no, let's not ruin the aesthetic. I could tell you here to keep going with the forks, but actually going in with your fingers, gloved or no glove, just helps you really pull all the chicken off the bone here. And by the way, I do not throw the bone out. I will be putting that back in the pressure cooker to extract any more goodness that remains for another meal. And I've also kept the leftover ingredients from the broth in case I want to use them too. So you can see that's my little bowl on the side that is collecting all the bones. My kids are not mad keen on eating the skin of the chicken, so I keep some of it for myself. Some of it goes back with the bones, but this is entirely up to your own preference. I've sped this up for you a little bit, but you can see I'm making enormously good progress with getting all that chicken out. No chicken wasted at all. And when the chicken's out on the plate, I will also just run through it to make sure that there aren't any unnecessary bits remaining, bits of bones, bits of skin. And that's a massive stash of chicken that can be used separately as well in other dishes, maybe sandwiches and things. So that's me now going into the platter, just showing you my fingers as well. I am not injured and I have a big plate of chicken ready to go. Now for the noodles, I like to use buckwheat noodles for this. They're Japanese. Look for a brand that has whole wheat and buckwheat. Normally buckwheat noodles have very little buckwheat in them actually. So keep an eye out for that. These cook for about 4 minutes on a gentle rolling boil, and you can just pull them out like that. They're fantastic, really wholesome, super healthy, good for you, and we will use it to assemble our noodles. I'm also chopping up the spring onion greens because these will garnish the actual noodle bowl. So in goes one nest of the buckwheat soba that I've got. Simple pile up job now. In goes some of the kale from that broth and that wonderful fragrant broth. Let's add some of that turmeric stained lovely chicken now. I always buy really nice quality chicken, so I know this will be so tasty and fragrant. A splash of light soya. You'll notice that I didn't add any salt to the broth, so just the soya sauce is plenty. And on top of that, I'm going to sprinkle some roasted black sesame seeds. And then, of course, the spring onion greens that I chopped go on top to make it all lovely, pretty, and fresh. Of course, I had to finish with chili oil. We absolutely love our soups, noodle soups with chili oil, so that goes on top. And what's left to do is for me to taste it before the kids do. And I can tell you that this is so warming and gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed as much as we do. Thank you for watching and see you here for the next one.